Everybody, how's it going? Welcome to part 2 of Odd Meters. Last time we talked about 5/4, 7/4, and 7/8. This week we're taking a look at some more complex time signatures than that, plus a little technique for you to work on that's going to help get these odd feeling time signatures to fit very well under your fingers. And just kind of another way to phrase your riffs, whether it be in an odd time signature or not. So let's get started with example number 1. If you're a Steve Vai fan, you'll recognize this from the song Freak Show XS. He got the idea to do the song from his enjoyment of Bulgarian wedding music. Not making that up. Great little genre of music for you to look up. There's a lot of cool stuff you can listen to. These guys are very, very comfortable playing in odd time signatures. It doesn't even sound like they're playing in odd time signatures. This song is from section C of the tune, where it kind of breaks down in the kind of this little clean guitar part and then this really funky little solo. In 17/16, but the way that it's broken down is the guitar is playing this little 7-note riff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's just a series of hammer-ons and pull-offs, but kind of the way you really get to play one of these riffs comfortably, of course, is to do it slowly. Another great example of some odd time signature stuff, besides the Eastern European kind of thing, will just be jazz. You can just look up some great jazz. Pat Metheny is who I got this next example from. It is in 22/8. That's the time that we're in. It's the song is First Circle. So look that one up. Really cool stuff. Great guitar work in it. I'm just going to show you kind of the first measure. And the way that these measures of 22 are broken up is you have a measure of 12 followed by a measure of 10. Then a measure of 12 and 10, 12 and 10, and just goes on that way. And that's pretty common to find when you're talking about odd time signatures where there's a lot of notes where the top number is kind of big, is it'll be broken up that way. And kind of the way you want to think about this is think in terms of 3 notes. You want to try to find a kind of a common number in these time signatures, and there's a definite pattern that you can find when studying this stuff. So it's not too bad. But let's take a look at it. I need to go get the acoustic guitar. So here's the way I've got it set up. I have my metronome on 128 beats a minute. It's a quarter note is 128. The song is actually 160. But I've got it slow because I'm still learning. It's tough. So, oops, drop my pick. That's okay. I don't need it. All right. So here's the riff. I'll play it a couple times for you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So let's talk about that one. Let's take a look at just kind of the first half of the 22/8, which would be the 12/8. Not the 11/8. I know that would be actually half, but since we're in 12/8 and then 10/8. The first little part of this, in 12/8, you want to try to divide everything up into even parts, especially when your top number is an even number. In this, I'm thinking in terms of 3 notes. 3 groups of eighth notes, or 4 groups of eighth notes rather, and that's going to equal your 12 notes. So if you think of the pattern in 3 notes at a time, that's going to make it easier. So the first part, the first 3 notes, we're playing kind of an A chord. We have an A, a lower A, and then an E. Oh, and by the way, this guitar is tuned down a whole step. It's still tuned in fourths, but that's why it probably won't sound like yours if you try to play along. But these frets are still correct. So A, E. Then you're going to come down here to kind of this F add 9 kind of chord. Those 3 notes, F, A, and G. Then you're going to move to a C. You're going to play 1, 2, 3, G, C, C. And then G, D, E. You're switching there to a C add 9. So far we have this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you just start real slow. And there's your measure of 12. All right, the second part of that, the part that's in 10-8 or 5-4, you're starting with a D minor. And again, I'm thinking in terms of 3 notes just to kind of keep with the pattern, but you're going to run into a group of 3 notes and then a group of 2 notes. So it's going to go like this. You start with a D minor, playing a D and an F at the same time, and then playing the D and A. You're moving to a C over E, and then an F. There's our 2 notes, and then to a G. And I'm just making partial chords here. There's no need to make the whole chord, especially when you're finger picking like this. So I'm just playing in, for the F, just an F right there, a C right there, and then an A right there. So you have the 1, the 5, and the 3, 1, 3, and 5, whatever. And that makes the major chord. And then take that same pattern, slide up to G. So that measures like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's another way you can think of it, and just count in little numbers like that. So here's the whole thing, slowly. All right, got the electric back, and I changed shirts for some reason for that last one. Another genre of music for you to look at, if you're like, I don't want to listen to Eastern European music, I don't want to listen to jazz. What? Then you can look up some heavy metal. Heavy metal is fraught with odd time signatures. A band in particular that loves that stuff is Dream Theater. I don't know if you would classify them as heavy metal or progressive or whatever, but either way, very good stuff for you to look up. I included some tab for the song Constant Motion. I'm not going to really go into that because I'm still on this journey of very odd time signatures myself, and that's just not really a genre that's my strong point. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm weak. So the tab there, if you're interested in it, it goes all over the place. You have like a measure of 7, then a measure of 10 and 12, and then 15, and then a 17, 16 thing. Using beat displacement in your practicing can really help you help your fingers really move around this odd time stuff. Basically what it does is it takes a little riff, a very simple riff, and every time you reach the downbeat, your downbeat is now on a different note each time. For example, if we have this just that simple little scale run, and count to 7. Set your metronome up in 7 if you can. And so what happens is you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Well, I hope that helped. Like I said, you're on this journey with me with this really odd time signature stuff. 7-4-5-4, yeah, fine. 7-8-5-8, fine. 17-16, 22-8, 15-8. That's where things get very interesting. And hey, it's kind of fun. So hopefully that helped. Work all this stuff out with a metronome. Get you a good metronome. You know what I mean? It's gonna make your life so much easier. And start out slow, and it's really, all this stuff is really going to fit very nicely on your fingers once you get it. So keep working on it. I'll see you next week.